Hey folks, okay, so this is admittedly a little bit self-indulgent, but I really like the ship sculpts in Eclipse, so I had the idea of like, why not go through all of them and rank them? This is kind of just based on my personal aesthetic. Obviously, I am not an authority on this, but hey, I thought that it would be fun to do, and hey, maybe you might like it too. So I'm gonna start with the middle of the pack. It'll range from kind of meh to pretty cool, and then I'm gonna go to the 5 that I like the least, because there are definitely some ones that I don't really like in this pack, and then they're gonna go to my top 5 because some of them are fantastic. So at the bottom of the meh pile is the red Starbase. This one is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't care. It's okay. That's why it's at the bottom of the meh pile. Next up, the monolith. Again, what are you gonna do? This is a rectangle. I do like the scratches on this. I think the texture is nice, but it's a rectangle. How much can you get out of a rectangle? Next up is the blue Starbase. Again, it's not bad. It's functional. I do kind of like the points on this, but it's very thin. So I'm just keeping it kind of low. And then the red Dreadnought. Now, we're going to see a lot of Dreadnoughts pretty quickly, or on the lower end of this list, because for some reason, I just don't think the Dreadnoughts did very well. They were bigger, so maybe they had to be a little bit less intricate because they were putting more plastic on it. Maybe they didn't want to break them or something, but I don't know. There's nothing wrong with this. I just am kind of bored when I look at it. So there's that. Now we're going to start to get to slightly more interesting designs. This one is kind of cool. This is the Black Cruiser, and these fit the sort of the aesthetic of the faction. They're very military oriented. So this guy, you kind of see the little turrets on the top here, and it's just kind of cool. I mean, it's still pretty basic. It's just like it kind of looks like a more military, destroyer. A little bit less personality than some of the things we're going to see coming up. Now, blue Dreadnought. These are starting to get kind of interesting. I like blue's fins. All the blue ships have some fins like this, and they're kind of cool. They have this interesting little starfish in the front of it. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I like it. Definitely getting better. Up next is the green Dreadnought. I like green. Green and blue are kind of similar. They both have the fins. Green is just decidedly sharper. And green, it seems a little bit more plant-like. They're definitely going for that plant aesthetic to it. So I like that. It's kind of neat. But there's better stuff ahead. Up next, we got a blue cruiser. And this is starting to do a thing that I kind of like. It's weird, but I kind of like this about this and the last blue ship that I haven't shown off yet, which is that I don't know where the front is. I don't know if it's supposed to go this way, because, it has that kind of like triangular line in that sense, so it's kind of like how planes do, but some of the fins go in the other direction, so maybe this is the front. I don't know. I kind of think it's this. It's hard to say, but it's cool. I like it. Anyway, next is the GCDS, the Galactic Center Defense System, and now this is a cool design. I do like the Death Star with a hole cut in the middle. The reason this is not higher on the list is just because it tends to bend, as I've seen. Like, I don't think this is supposed to be at an angle like this. I think, this is supposed to be pretty straight, but it does bend, which is unfortunate. So they don't... Otherwise, I think it's a really cool sculpt. It's got a lot of detail, a lot of cities and stuff, and then it's just an interesting design. I almost expect this to rotate. As you can see, it's got that, like, this piece in the middle. It seems like it would rotate, and that would be pretty cool, but again, it's just a little flimsy. It's the only reason I don't like it. All right, yellow ships. This is the first yellow one I think we've seen. This is the yellow cruiser, and this is pretty cool. It's got these kind of ski kind of wings to it, with a little bit of differentiation between like top and bottom side. So I like it. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of like the nacelle kind of silhouette of Starfleet ships. So pretty neat there. Now, white. White's Interceptor. This is pretty cool. I like to say. I like white ships a lot. These get very technical. I mean, white is the machinima, so this makes sense. They've got these kind of robotic looking stuff to it. I'm trying to show you the detail on this a little bit hard because it's kind of blown out just a tiny bit, but I hope you can see. Yeah, it just looks pretty cool, and that's White's ship. It's White's interceptor. Next up, Green's Starbase. Very plant-like. I love this the aesthetic of this. It's got a cool like starburst sort of design on it, and just the points of it are really cool. Now it's very sharp, which holding this is hurting just a little bit, but I think it's cool. I think this is one of the cooler star bases. I've got one more above this one. So next up, this is the Guardian. Cool. And this is just a cool ship. Like, this is a pretty standard ship, but they've gotten some great detail work. It's kind of asymmetrical, which I like. And it's very angular, but in a very cool way. I just like the textures of it. I think this is a really cool ship. Good ship. Good ship. Next is Green's Interceptor, and this is awesome. Honestly, this kind of looks like a little ray gun, like a retro futuristic ray gun, just with extra wings. And it's got some really cool spikes to it. Again, I'm not 100% sure what side the front is. I'm pretty sure it's not this. I'm pretty sure it's like this. But yeah, it's really cool. Now, the only thing, again, it's sharp. I'm honestly having trouble holding this without just puncturing my fingers. But anyway, Green Interceptor, pretty cool. White's Starbase. This is, I think, the coolest Starbase. I like this a lot. I love these grasping arms along the sides, and there's got some, it's minimal detail on the front, but this top bit is just like a big missile bank. I don't know what those things are called, but the big like missile box kind of thing. But yeah, this just seems really cool. Grasper kind of thing. Up next, the Green Cruiser, and this is the best of the spikies, or of the green spikies anyway. Yeah, it's got the same kind of thing of like, it's got this cool front to it that the Interceptor had. It's very spiky, which I like. It's got a great silhouette, just a cool design to it. It flows, and again, it fits with the sort of plant aesthetic, which I am all about. All right, we're getting close to the best stuff. These are the best of the middle of the pack. This is White's Dreadnought. I think this is this is the best Dreadnought that I have in here. It is just very interesting. It's got this very asymmetric design. It sticks with that white, like machine sort of look to it. Got great detail work, and it's just got a cool silhouette. I really like how this looks. I don't have much to say about it other than it's really neat. Now, it is a little bit chunky. I mean, it's the biggest one. I like that they were going for slender ships with whites, but this is a little bit chunky. Maybe if it was a little less wide or something like that. I don't know. I might like it a little bit better. But either way, it is very cool. And next is the Orbital. This I love. This is a very simple thing, but I think this is a great design. It has this orbital look, so it's got this. Basically, it's a rotating space station that you get. The idea of it is, it rotates, and then the gravity is made by centrifugal force. I can never remember the right one, the force that pushes you to the edges. But on top of that, it's got this little shelf where you can just put in one of your population cubes. So that is, I think, great design as well as great functionality. So I really like the orbital for that. And the last of the pretty goods. You can't quite see it. The black is a little bit hard to see the details on it, but I love this cube. This is just a cube, but oh, it's so nice. It really reminds me of like Borg cubes or kind of companion cubes a little bit too. And it seems very appropriate for the Orion hegemony, I believe. It's just, very militaristic, very functional, but also has some cool detail work to it. It's not exactly the same all around. The middle sides have these sort of circles, but on the top and bottom, it's got this different kind of detail. So it's subtle, but I really like it. All right. So those were all of the middling ones. Some of them they started off kind of, they're okay, they don't really care. And then got to some ones that I really do like. Now I'm going to go to my bottom 5, which they're okay. So I've shown you some the black cube already, which I liked a lot. This also fits in with the design ethos of the black ships. I just don't like it. This is the black interceptor, and it's just sort of a chunk. There's nothing there's nothing wrong with it. Ugh. It is not appealing to me specifically, though I do think it is well designed and it fits the ethos very well. I just aesthetically, I don't latch onto this at all. Up next, of the boring ships, this, in my opinion, is just the most boring. It's a yawn of a ship. It really is. I just don't really care. Like they're trying with the different sections that are connected, but I just does not engage me whatsoever. Black's Dreadnought is a garbage truck. This is a garbage truck with guns and a couple little wings. It is a long cube, and unlike the other cube, which I really liked, this doesn't have any nostalgia for me, so it is near the bottom of the list. It's my third worst. But like, it's funny. I do like how it really fits in with Black's aesthetic, but it is a garbage truck, is what it is. Red's Interceptor. This is a nose with wings. That's what this thing is. So it's not bad. I just think it's so funny. Look at this honker, this big old nose, and then it's just an X-wing on top of that. But like a tall X-wing, like it's got these like kind of arms to it. Very silly. And now for the ship that, in my opinion, is the worst one. Honestly, this is the only ship that I actually don't really like. All the other ones, I think there's merit to them, and they fit the aesthetic, or they're at least fine. This one, I'm not a huge fan of Yellow's Dreadnought, mainly because there's this detail you can kind of just barely see it, and that's not really a problem with the camera resolving it. It's just really, really faint. I think that the detail work on this, I really wish they had just elevated it a little bit more. I don't mean like better quality. I mean literally raised it off of the model. I just want this. It's so smooth in the sense that it really just feels like it was flattened out in a way that I don't like that much. It's very flat. I wish this. I mean, like I said, these are the biggest ones. They probably were costing the most, so they needed to simplify them a little bit. But I don't know. I wish this was just a little bit more detailed, a little more separation from all the details. But anyway, those were my bottom 5. Now I actually want to talk about my top 5. I really like these ships. So I'm going to start now. Yellow's Dreadnought was at the bottom of the list. At my number 5, this is Yellow's Starbase. I think this is really cool, mainly because it really reminds me of bacteriophages. So you've got this like bulbous kind of head. There's some great detail work, and it's got these cool like grasping arms. And look up bacteriophages if you don't know what they are. It's a virus that eats or latches onto bacteria. It's just very interesting, and it looks a lot like this, and I think it's cool. The only thing I don't like about this is this is the best one that I have. The other ones, they kind of bend a little bit. They don't really stand up as straight as they could, which is a little bit disappointing, but otherwise really like the Yellow Starbase. Now, number 4, look at this beak. This is so great. This is the alien NPCs. What are they called? Not Guardians. You know what they are. These are the aliens. So the Ancients. There we go. The ancient ships just are so interesting. They've got these like spikes along the bottom. They've got this long pointy bit. And I know I made fun of the red ship for being a nose, and that's kind of what this is, but this has so much better detail along with it that I really think that it's a much cooler design than that one. This parrot of a ship. It's just so spiky. It's got such a great beak. Anyway, that was my number 4. Number 3, we've got White's Cruiser. Now this I think is the perfect the white ship. This one I really like. It's like the Dreadnought. It is asymmetrical a little bit. It's got this cannon on this side here, but it's not too wide. It's still very sleek, and it's very efficient, which I really like about the Mechanima designs. Look how thin this is. It's great. It's also got good detail work. There's a little bit of texture on it. It's just kind of perfect. It's very understated, but I really, really enjoy this one. So that's the white Cruiser. Now my number 2, remember how yellow's Dreadnought was at the bottom? Yellow's Interceptor, my number 2. I really love this. This looks a lot like the Cruiser, but a little bit more sleek design. It's smaller, so they've got this differentiation between the main body, which goes sort of up, and then the wings, which go down. I really like it. Now, it is very smooth. There's not a whole lot of detail on this, but I think that really works and makes it very aerodynamic. Again, I don't know 100%. I'm not 100% sure where the front of this, maybe it's pointed this way or not. But hey, you can just sort of interpret it the way you want to. So yeah, this is my number 2 ship, the Yellow Interceptor. And now my number 1 ship, if you've done your process of elimination, you figure this out. But if not, it is the Blue Interceptor. This is just a perfect ship. Again, it has that blue thing of, I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know what's, well, this one though, I'm certain of which side is the front because it has the guns on it. It's got the little cannons on the front. So obviously this is the way that it goes. Unless those are engines? Oh my God, I don't know. It could be this way. Who knows? But this is just a perfect amount of detail, and I like everything about it, honestly. The fins going back, the wings going forward, the little guns, and the tail fin. It's such a small ship, and it just does everything that it needs to do so perfectly. I really like this ship. And, I mean, obviously I like it. It is my favorite ship in all of Eclipse. So, as you can see, some of those ships I liked a lot more than others. I definitely think that Yellow has the widest spread. Overall, I like White's ships the best. Blue has some really good ones, so does Green. Black is also a little bit all over the place. Red, in my opinion, has the worst ships, but almost all of them I think are really, really good. I do want to say that even though I've been making some jokes, I think that the design team for Eclipse has done an excellent job with these ships. I love that so much care and work was put into them, and also just that they did this. I mean, this is something that I remember Twilight Imperium was thinking about doing this, but the cost would have just been prohibitive. So, because there are only 6 different factions in Eclipse, this makes perfect sense. I'm so glad they did this. I think this was a really smart choice, and I'm just happy with how it turned out. And those were my the ranking list. I didn't count them. I'll have a number going up when I'm actually editing this video, but those are my favorites of the Eclipse ship sculpts. And if you feel like it, why don't you tell me what your favorites of those sculpts are in the comments. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you folks later. Bye.